increasing pollution levels also leading to the diversion into the flights as the winter also sets its foot in the Delhi NCR. Amid soaring AQI and the onset of the winter season in the national capital, Delhi activates stage 4 of its emergency anti-pollution measures as the city's air quality has reached alarming levels. The rising air pollution has affected all facets of life in the city as emergency measures are implemented under the 4th stage of the Graded Response Action Plan. Public transport has been encouraged with the entry of trucks as well as BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel in the Delhi NCR region being banned. The emergency measures are announced yesterday evening as the AQI in the national capital hit at the mark of the serious severe level of 457. In such an emergency, the CAQM also implemented a stringent 8-point action plan aimed at curbing the escalating pollution and protecting the public health. But the big question remains, how did we get here yet once again? There is no doubt that the national capital has earned enormous shame worldwide in failing to handle the growing pollution, but at the same time, the band-aid measures including odd-even scheme for the vehicles has been implemented. But what seems to have changed? Smoke from the burning of paddy residue in Punjab and Haryana is historically a key contributor to the national capital's worsening air quality index in winter. Now, viewers, according to the centre's decision support system, in fact, the farm fires have added significantly into the rising pollution levels, accounting for at least 16.23% into Delhi's finer particulate matter, which is the PM 2.5. The fact of the matter is that what's causing the air emergency now, if at all the measures are being placed and implemented widely. As we go to present you the current situation on the ground, please remember, viewers, our call-in lines will be open for the duration of half an hour. So you can even call us and tell us about the issues and the kind of situation in fact you are facing due to the stage 4 of the GRAP being implemented in the view of the air pollution only increasing as the winter sets in. Alright, viewers, let's take a look finally at the AQI levels in the real time right now in the national capital, and as you can see, it's in fact inching at the mark of 1000. That is in fact indicating that this is the season's worst AQI for in fact the Delhi NCR region. At most places the AQI is being told to be given at the 999, and figures like such are in fact very alarming given that the various spots in the national capital have only been reporting the AQI of 999, and this is in fact coming from not just the parts of Delhi but from the neighboring parts of the national capital as well. Now, viewers, let's also get a sense of in fact how the AQI problem is largely impacted due to the farm fire extent, and the NASA satellite which in fact show the kind of real-time data of the kind of farm fires that have isolatedly and that have been constituted in the northern parts of the region. If we talk about in fact this today, this is the kind of impact by parali burning which we can see on the screens. The area marked in the red territory in fact rather shows the kind of extent till which the parali burning pollutants have concentrated into this region. Now, when we look at the region of the northern India, see, this is in fact the kind of impact that we have from across the borders. As we have also spoken to experts who have said that this is not just enough. There are also times when farmers are very careful of evading the tracing from the NASA satellites as well. So, the kind of portion that's covered into the toxic pollutants due to the stubble burning can be also increased. But this is the kind of picture through which we can actually have an idea, and we can expect the kind of pollutants which have set their foot into the Delhi air. In fact, when the parali burning has happened. This is the data of the pictures that we can show you from the last 7 days of parali burning. Viewers, this is the kind of extent that we can see covering from the northern part of the India and expanding towards even till east. This is the kind of region that's completely covered and concentrated by the particulate matter, which concentrates largely into increasing chemicals into the air pollution as well. PM 2.5 is largely also responsible. The kind of concentration that PM 2.5 has also leads to, in fact, right now, the kind of increasing air pollution in the neighboring states of national capital. Now viewers, let me also get across my colleagues which are there on the ground and giving me a sense of how exactly the air in the national capital is becoming worse for them. Starting with my colleague Aditya. Aditya, shows the latest visuals and kind of impact that you can bring out by being on the ground and facing the difficulty up front there at the ground level zero. Of the kind of level which pollution is harming to the citizens of the national capital.
जी सिमरन, मैं आपको पहले तस्वीरें, जैसे आपने कहा, तस्वीरें मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ कि किस तरीके की तस्वीरें हैं दिल्ली एनसीआर में। मैं मौजूद हूँ अभी नोएडा के सेक्टर 73 इलाके में। आप ये देखिए कि आसमान में आपको जो धुंध दिखाई दे रहा होगा, ये धुंध एयर पॉल्यूशन जो है उसी का असर है। और देखिए स्कूल है दिल्ली में जबकि बंद है, वहीं नोएडा में स्कूल जो है वो चालू है। स्कूल बस है जो यहाँ पर बच्चों को छोड़ने के लिए अभी आया है, लेकिन एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स की हम बात करें तो वो लगातार जो है वो बढ़ता जा रहा है, स्थिति खराब होती जा रही है, लोगों को सांस लेने में दिक्कत हो रही है। लेकिन नोएडा में अगर बात करें तो नोएडा की जो स्थिति है वो ये है कि बच्चे स्कूल अभी भी जा रहे हैं और स्कूल खुले हुए हैं। और बात करें अभी कितना है एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स दिल्ली एनसीआर की, तो दिल्ली में अगर हम बात करें तो कई इलाकों में 600 650 था। वहीं फरीदाबाद की बात करें तो वहां पर रात को 850 तक एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स देखा गया है। वहीं दिल्ली में आनंद विहार की बात करें तो वहां भी 700 के पास में एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स है। नोएडा की बात करें तो नोएडा में भी लगभग 600 से 700 के बीच में एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स है। ग्रेटर नोएडा की बात करें तो ग्रेटर नोएडा में भी 700 के आसपास में एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स है। ग्रैप 4 लगाया जा चुका है दिल्ली एनसीआर समेत जितने भी पॉल्यूटेड सिटीज हैं वहां पर, लेकिन ग्रैप 4 लगाने के बाद भी कुछ बंदिशें जिसपे काम होनी चाहिए थी उसको लेकर के कोई काम होता दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है। जैसे मैंने आपके स्कूल के बारे में बताया, स्कूल जो है बंद होने चाहिए थे। जिस तरीके से दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री आतिशी ने बीते दिनों ग्रैप 4 लागू होने के बाद से जब उन्होंने घोषणा की थी कि जो स्कूल है वो बंद किए जाएंगे, तो उसी तरीके के नियम जो है वो लागू होने। देखिए मैं भी दिखाता हूँ, एक बच्चा है जो छोटा कितना है, अब ये स्कूल से आया है। स्कूल बंद नहीं था आंटी जी, स्कूल बंद नहीं था, तो अभी तो सब जगह बंद है, बट स्कूल से नोटिस नहीं आया है। ये देख सकते हैं ये छोटा बच्चा है और ये अभी स्कूल से आया है, और इसको जबकि कायदे से स्कूल बंद होना चाहिए था क्योंकि दिल्ली में जो है वो बंद था, लेकिन अभी स्थिति है। कुछ और भी लोग से बात करके हम देखेंगे कि क्या स्थिति है एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स को लेकर के। क्या नाम है आपका? तुम्हारा क्या स्थिति है अभी एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स को लेकर के?
10-15 दिन पहले जब मैं बिहार गया था तो अभी मौसम ठीक था, लेकिन जब से आया हूँ 2 दिन हो गया आए हुए, सांस
लेने में दिक्कत हो रही है। तो क्या गांव में क्या महसूस किया और यहाँ क्या अंतर महसूस किया?
आने के बाद खांसी वासी हो गए और मेरी तबियत जैसा मेरा टेस्ट दिख रहा होगा तो खराब हो गया।
ठंड अचानक से बढ़ी है, उससे क्या असर पड़ रहा है?
तो सांस लेने में दिक्कत हो रही है यही सब, और स्किन पे भी दंगे सूख रहे हैं, सूखे से ऐसा लग रहा है।
तो आप देख रहे थे सिमरन की जो स्थानीय लोग हैं उनका साफ कहना है कि मौसम जो बदल रहा है, जो एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स है उससे सांस लेने में काफी दिक्कतों का सामना लोगों को करना पड़ रहा है। कुछ दिन पहले जब छठ का समय था तो लोग अपने गांव गए थे, जो उत्तर प्रदेश या बिहार करने वाले लोग थे, वो वहां पर स्थिति जो अलग तरीके की है, लेकिन दिल्ली में आने के बाद उनको सांस लेने में काफी दिक्कतों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। अचानक से एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स इस तरीके से खराब हुआ है क्योंकि मौसम अब भी खराब होता जा रहा है। आबो हवा जो है उसमें बदलाव आया है, जो सर्दी है वो बढ़ा, तापमान अचानक से गिरा है, और जैसे तापमान गिरता है वैसे वैसे एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स भी खराब होता जाता है। जी सिमरन।
All right, Aditya, thank you for in fact giving us the sense from the ground and talking to the residents and people who are present at this point of time. Now, in fact, joining me live is also my colleague Arzu from the National Capital, who has been showing us live the kind of situation that's unfolding as the day one of the GRAP Stage 4 is put in place. Arzu from ITO, what is the latest that we are tracking at 1 p.m. this point of time? How exactly is the situation alarming? Show us through the real visuals.
Well, Simran, the air quality has worsened in the national capital, and in fact it is very tough to breathe in such a toxic air in the national capital. Right now I am at the ITO and would like to show you the visuals, and you can understand we can't say this is the, this is not the early morning. The visuals currently showing that it's an early morning visual, but it's around the mid-afternoon, and you can see, haziness still prevails in the environment. The thick layer of smog is still engulfing the several parts of the national capital, and this part also, if we talk about the ITO, the AQI here at this place is also 447, which comes under the severe category. And you can see, the visibility has been impacted very much. The visibility is very low and it is very tough. And you can also see that, these cars are also have, turn off on their headlights so that they can see the visuals. They can see the, scene outside, and that's why, it's very tough for the drivers also to drive in such a low visibility. Also, if we talk about railways, we talk about, airlines, these are also very delayed due to the smog that has been engulfed in the North India. Several trains, around 30 trains are late around 3 hours. So these are the effect of the pollution, or we can say the fog that we are seeing in the national capital or around the North India. And it is expected that these conditions are not really going to improve in the coming days. Also, if we talk about Gopal Rai also holding the meeting at the Delhi Secretariat regarding the GRAP 4 stage and how it will be implemented in the national capital, so that strictly it should be implemented and how people are going to, through it. So this remains to be seen what new the announcement will be made by the Environment Minister. But as of now, if we can see, we have interacted with a lot of people and they told us it is very tough for them, in fact, to breathe in such a toxic air. In fact, they have gone to the doctors also to tell them their problems, and the number of patients in the hospitals have also increased. So these are the scenarios here from the national capital. Yes, Simran.
All right, Arzu, thank you for giving us, in fact, the view which is now taking place in the national capital. Now, Anil Chaudhary joins me live from Ghaziabad as well. Anil, what is the situation like there in the NCR? Are there more vehicles coming at this point of time, given that it's the season's worst AQI in the Delhi NCR at this point of time? How exactly people are following the restrictions and the guidelines given by the CAQM under the Stage 4 of the GRAP? All right, viewers. Now, in fact, what we are given to understand that it is season's worst air quality index of the Delhi NCR, and several other regions of the country have been witnessing alarming rise in the pollution levels. As the winter season approaches, there is an uptick in the cases of respiratory disorders caused in the smog in the city, with hospitals reporting a notable increase in the OPD and the admissions. Children, the elderly and pregnant women and those with pre-existing health conditions like asthma and COPD face greater risk due to their already compromised respiratory systems. These diseases include respiratory infections, bronchitis, acute bronchitis, asthma, influenza and pneumonia, and many more. Over the past 18 years, deaths due to the respiratory diseases have been steadily increasing. In the year 2005, it was 4.91%, which is nearly 5% of the total institutional deaths, which jumped to nearly 10% last year. Going by a data from the report on the medical certification of the cause of deaths in Delhi, the figures are cited. All right, viewers. Now, in fact, we have a guest joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Ishwar Gilada. who's an health expert, joins me live on the broadcast. Sir, thank you for speaking to NewsX. I appreciate your presence and time. What exactly is the kind of change that you have been witnessing right now, as the pollution has hit at hazardous level? Of course, these cases are expected to rise only, but who are the vulnerable groups especially? Are these the regular women and elderly and children, but also more young people coming up with issues of respiratory illnesses, and there are also psychological impact as well as the pollution increases?
Thank you very much for having me on this show. Physiologically, lower the age, they are ill prepared to take up any kind of respiratory damage. And younger the children, their respiratory system is not well developed. It is developed in the developing stage. Even their immunity is in the developing stage. So you must have seen that any child below 2 years or 3 years of age, they get repeated viral fever, they get repeated running nose, they get repeated fevers as opposed to adults. And same thing would happen with any kind of pollution, particularly particulate matter 2.5 and particulate matter 10. They are much more harmful to children below 2 and also below 5, but below 2 they are very harmful. Secondly, their respiratory capacity, lungs capacity to hold the oxygen or air is 15 to 20 times lower than adults. So you can imagine that what can happen when you have a very bad air, AQI, and that has lot of hazardous substances like nitrous oxide, sulfur, this particulate matter 2.5 and 10, and lot of other pollutants. So they are harmful to the child, and the child immediately get gasping. They get into respiratory distress. They need to be hospitalized. And the situation is such that we sometimes lose such young children. So looking at the condition of last 10 years, every year it is going from bad to worst. We know the season, we know the cause, we know the consequences, and we know what are the possible solutions. But still we are not arriving at the solution. And all the administrative machinery and politically motivated people, they are in blame game of blaming. It is coming from here or there. And even polluters, they blame each other. Those which are polluting through vehicle, they will blame on the stubble burning. They will blame on the neighboring state. So I think, and then the kind of lip service that this is reduced by 20%. But if you are having a more fields and reducing by 20%, what will happen? And each year the AQI is going up and up. So sometimes we just get a headline from Pakistan that Pakistan's AQI is much better than India, but we do not be Pakistan. So on one hand, we would like to be part of the G7 countries. We call ourselves G8 country. On the other hand, we are going backwardly in health indications. So I think here the issue is that no political party should be blaming each other. They should sit together. If AQI is bad, it will kill or it will damage people of both the parties, 3 parties, 10 parties. So it is a human issue. We have to sit together. The most other important thing is that we people as individuals, we are having a least civic sense. We don't have sense of belonging to nation, country, state, and that lane and by-lane. We are so self-centric that come Diwali, we have a lot of crackers, firecrackers. Why do we use this? And basically, though Supreme Court put in a lot of efforts, nothing would happen because you continue to produce or manufacture firecrackers. So if you want to ban firecrackers, you have to ban the production, and that is not happening. And same thing with the vehicle polluting, individual polluting, people smoking. Despite all that, the smokers have not left smoking. So I think individually, communally, society-wise, party-wise, or administratively, everybody has to contribute if we have to see that we are a better nation to live in. If the life in Delhi is reduced by 6.2 to 10 years as compared to other places in the country, I think it's a pathetic stage. We see AQI in Trivandrum is only 23, and in Delhi it is crossing 500, 600, 700, 800. What is this happening?
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.